It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
And welcome to Nerd Breaking News. We're going to bring it old school today. So I'll say straight from the beginning, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about Disney's new show, the X-Men 97. So we have D'Angelo today with us. He is our special guest. And of course, we have the kid and the professor with us. So let's start it again. I'll give you an opportunity right now to log out, go watch a show, come back, and we'll start off with D'Angelo. Let's go ahead and go with you. Tell us about what you think about the new show.
Guys, this is 2024 is the year of X-Men. Marvel has finally figured it out. They're finally giving us what we want. They're putting to bed the Avengers. Thank you for what was it, 12 beautiful, whatever how many years it was of beautiful Avengers stories and cinema and television. Now give us back the X-Men. Millennials like us can appreciate it. The internet seems to love it. I love it. The nostalgia is real. They did a great job. Episode 1 was great. Episode 2 was better. Cannot wait for the rest of the season. I don't know if we want to talk about like breaking down the episode, but some of the overall tones that I want to bring up is how they merged the old animation with the new animation. The action scenes are so smooth and well animated, but then some of the static scenes are still keeps to the original aesthetic. Um, I love it. They brought back a lot of the original voices. I think almost 90% of the cast was brought back. I believe only Cyclops, Professor X, Magneto are the only different voices. Everyone else is the same. And you guys could confirm that or not, but God, I love it. What do you think, the kid?
I think this is what everybody's been waiting for. DC, Marvel, irrespective of what fandom you are, everybody grew up on this. This is a show that with besides Batman the animated series, I said this numerous times on the record. This is the greatest show in terms of comic books growing up. This beats anything. Um, what this felt for me, and going back to a recap and reference of the episodes, the intro was I don't know who the hell skipped those intros, right? We waited years to see these intros. You guys, there's even been memes out there going like, I'm not gonna skip this.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
the sound of our childhood. Fun fact: the guy who did the intro for X Men also did the Power Rangers intro.
oh,
Makes sense.
It's the same
okay,
guy.
That
It's-
makes
okay,
sense.
it
yeah,
does.
so just he's the sound of our childhood. It's
He
amazing.
does.
It goes
Uh,
so hard. Yeah.
let's go. Let's go look at episode 1 real quick. So episode 1. Listen, I'm a huge Scott Summers fan. I love the Summers family. I love the Summers dynamics. I love him. I love his brother. I love his kids. Oh, that story with him. I love the idea that Mr. Sinister was obsessed with him. Scott was always disrespected in the movies, and I get why people don't like or kind of respect him from afar because he's the boy Scottish version of the leader version of the X-Men. But the cool thing about Scott is that he's gonna ride or die with this team. He is what they need. Because you take Scott Summers out there, and and again, I lament the fact of Whack Jackman and the writing. I've been saying that for years. Like
What'd you call him?
Whack
That
Jackman,
would be a
he should be
hater.
he should be a guys, what did you just see the first 2 episodes? That's the real Wolverine. Hey, Whack Jackman, take notes, you clown. But
Oh
anyways,
my God.
before I get tired of Whack,
That's
I
a
hate
whole nother episode. I might
Thank
even
yeah.
look that up right now.
Well,
Yeah.
Last
It's
week.
getting me riled up because when you see him and then you see Whack Jackman, you're like, oh, that can't be the same character, right? Anyways,
Mhm.
Scott Summers is always a respected member. He's one of the original 5. I love, by the way, little note there. I love the fact that the picture of the original 5 X-Men was there. So the homage of the original 5 crew. The fact that they gave Scott the level of respect they did tells me that the MCU is going to do the same thing in the live action. Well, I don't know that actually. Let me take that back because they fired they fired the guy who created everything. So I don't know about that. DC, call him tomorrow. Anyways, if they do the same level of respect of Scott and in terms of the actual live action MCU, then you guys are on the right track because everything in episode 1 was amazing. You saw the dynamics after Charles Xavier's death, the conflict that's always been there. Scott is always trying to. Yeah, hey, listen. I'm just saying, I'm just saying what happened so far in the first two episodes, and then you saw the dynamics and the conflict between Scott and him trying to put his shoulder, the weight of the shoulder in the team. And guys, that first scene, right? Like you saw them work together as a team. You saw them take down the Sentinels.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was poetry in motion.
Even though we saw the trailer scene when Wolverine and gets the kinetic energy from Gambit, even though we saw it in the trailer, when you see it in the actual show, we're like, it's still amazing. It's still great.
Military unit, bro. Still
When-
Team 6 out there.
Oh, when Bishop absorbed the Sentinel's blast and redirected it back.
By the way,
awesome.
Super underrated guy. He doesn't get talked about enough. It's a damn shame. Bischoff has always been a goon. The fact that Scott had to press his little button and call in Oroco and call in Scott, Storm, and the Sentinels said Omega Alert. Listen, there's only a certain amount of goons who reach that status. That's like the MVP of goons. Iceman, Jean Grey. There's only a certain amount in the comic books to reach that status. That shows the level of respect to the OGs. Everybody got a little taste. In episode 2, to your cause, what we were saying, I thought it was, man, listen, Magneto has always been a monster. He's the original. He's the original villain of the X-Men in the first comics. He's the master of magnetism. He's the guy that if you logically think about the X-Men and you be like, man, this happened in real life, Magneto would take over the world. We rely on metal so much that this guy will literally destroy the world in 2 seconds. The fact that you did that arc and it wasn't forced, it wasn't contrived. You felt, and again, we don't know if he's going to last like that, but the fact that he felt that, I had beef with Xavier, he's my boy, we had a fallout.
And very anti-hero, and I wonder if they're going to follow the Uncanny series.
You have to. Look what he's wearing.
Yeah, if they're going to follow it, it's going to be good. I love the homage to like when Scott said after the fight to me, my X-Men, and a really cool Easter egg is at the end of the episode, Magneto says it too. If you really listen to him, he says something, and you all belong to me, my X-Men, and it worked out. It was beautiful writing, beautiful.
Episode 2, and before I give it to the professor, episode 2 just again. Episode 1 was like, oh my God, we're back. This is amazing. Episode 2 said, hold the coffee. This is what it's going to be about.
Better.
And the fact that Storm lost her powers in the second episode, by the way, spoiler alert, of the series, tells you this is no joke. Scott was bleeding when he fought the Executioner. This tells you that even though they're the X-Men, they're not invulnerable. They could get destroyed. And that tells you that's an homage to the 90s version where when you rewatch it, you're like, this isn't for kids, man. Yeah, we loved it with kids, whatever. But as an adult, you're like, yo, this. Look at the first episode.
Yeah.
Look at the first episode. Jubilee's in a mall chilling, and a Sentinel comes in.
Yeah.
Kudos to the writers. I mean, they knew who their audience was right. They know that their audience is sure children, but it's definitely us millennials who watched them when we were kids. And I think it was a right way to go about this because the show being animated allowed us to dive back into it and have the characters sort of be the same, but it not be like hokey or not be weird. Like if this was like live action, it would be like, them trying to act like the 97 or 96 or the X-Men that we know. But since it's the comic, it's what you dream of. It's like if you could go back and take your favorite show and then give it one more year, what happens the next year? That's sort of the idea here. Like, what's your favorite show and what happens the next year after it gets canceled? And this is exactly what we got.
Correct. It's exactly what we were looking for, honestly. Professor, what is your take on it?
So I can go ahead and I can give it all the superlatives. I think everyone agrees on all of that. I actually want to say something different. I think no. Not what you expect. I think that what happens here is that we're at the rare nerd moment where I think we all have to agree to put our swords down and just enjoy what we're seeing. Because the thing is, when you're looking at it, it took them this long to bring this entire cast together. when you're looking at the age of the cast members and all that stuff, this show's not going to go on for no 5, 6, 7 years. You're only going to get a year or two of this show. So something for us to appreciate, enjoy, and just stay on the ride as it goes.
That
For
is
me,
true.
what I appreciate about it is I think the content, especially the script, is far superior to the old script.
Oh, no question.
The action is far superior to the old action. The characterization is actually much, much better. Because to the kid's point, Cyclops in the old show was just so soft. But once you become an adult, you realize that Cyclops is actually right about most things, and that there's a burden that comes with being in charge of people and having to take care of people. And it's not the same as Wolverine just running out, cutting up stuff by himself. Once you become an adult, you realize it doesn't work. With Storm, you realize that no matter how powerful you are, you have to take care of your mental health. She's a good lesson on that. And with Rogue and Gambit, you understand the value of communication and being able to say things that sometimes you don't necessarily want to say. And I think that by growing the show up, you can really hit those themes better. And what the cartoon showed us is that the writer can hit the themes better than the movies, the old cartoon, and the comic books. That's by far the best X-Men content that I think we've ever had. And I think that what's been lost in translation throughout all these different iterations of it is what the real point of the overall universe of stories actually is. The idea that you have multiple diverging philosophies as to how to move the mutant community forward. And I think he's really reintroduced that idea and expanded it. And the idea that people can change their minds.
I think Days of Future Past got a little bit close, but
which one?
Days of Future X-Men, Days of Future Past. I think it got a little bit close.
The film, right? The film.
No, the movie, the comic. There's so many of them.
No, the film. I think the film got a little bit close.
That's the best X-Men movie.
Yeah,
so far.
I agree.
And the third act was whack. But could we talk about the third act was whack? But the movie was amazing. The movie was amazing. Could we talk about how they implemented several storylines, right? That has to be Madeline and Pryor. 1, 2, the fact that Magneto and Rogue's romance, I love it. Every X-Men fan knows that these people have a history in the comics. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
I'm letting you finish.
No, go ahead. I thought you had a remark.
Okay, so there's Madeline Pryor, right? There's the version that they were originally going to do. Then there's the Inferno version. I think the real question is, which version of the story are they going to tell?
We know that's Cable, right? That has to be Cable. That's Cable who was born. We know that's Cable's mom in the comics is Madeline Pryor. To your point, we don't know which version. The fact that Jean shows up at the end, that, man, listen, this could go so many ways. And the idea that Magneto, the best line so far in the first 2 episodes, when he held everybody up in the sky and he said, I could drop you down, but don't make me drop you down.
That was beautiful.
That was poetry. What do I sign, bro? Who wrote? Listen, hire this man back tomorrow, Marvel. Hire him back. The fact that Gambit already in the first 2 episodes is going to be a love triangle, something like that on those lines, where Gambit's like, damn, I kind of messed up this relationship here. Or like to your point, the lack of communication. The fact that you saw Morph trying to be a friend to Wolverine. The fact that you saw Jubilee, and that was Sunspot. My understanding, that was Sunspot. Like, you know what's coming. The original 90s version had so much cameos. There was so many. It was Nightcrawler. There was Cable. There was so many people. The fact that they already said, yeah, Bishop is from the future. Oh, my God. What do I sign? This is going to go so amazing. And again, guys, season 2 is already done. They filmed 2 straight seasons already. So we're going to get a second season, to Jay's point. Season 3 just got confirmed like a couple of days ago. The problem is, again, the argument is
injected right into my veins.
By the way, there's already rumors going on because of the success already of the first 2 episodes. We already have 2 episodes here. They're already talking about reviving Spider-Man from the 90s, which that'll help. That's gonna get Ye happy because Ye is a huge Spider-Man fan.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And if that one comes back, everybody's gonna be excited because
give me Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire. There was a rumor about that earlier this week too.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but from what, bro? the old man home. Like, come
Roll,
on,
roll
man,
him out
get
the
out of
wheelchair,
here.
bro. Like,
Get out of
roll him out.
here. Nah, get out of here. Tobey Maguire fights what, dude? Like, get out of here. What you talking about?
Listen, I'm just as long as they put the Avengers and that whole universe to bed, I'm happy to just move forward.
This is gonna
Well,
say
I don't
Marvel.
know. It could actually expand on the universe. Imagine that on your big screen with the X-Men. You add everybody else. It's gonna revitalize what has been a pretty bad couple of years of Marvel.
Question for the kid: what's my idea for Avengers 5?
Oh Lord, I gotta hear this. Go ahead.
Avengers
Oh,
versus X-Men. The
Yep.
money prints itself.
No, if
one
that
of the
happens, if
one
that
of
ha-
my favorite
if that
storylines.
if that happens, I'm gonna have to personally pick up James Gunn and concede and be like, "That's it,
Exactly.
James. We had a good run."
Slay the beast while it's wounded.
Well, listen, that's what the professor makes his takes. Hugh Jackman already said on the record, well, Whack Jackman already said on the record that because of Deadpool, which comes out in a couple months, guys, remember, there's already been reported by numerous, sources saying that they're gonna go. The trailer literally has 20th Century Fox and the snow.
Mhm.
James Marsden, all the Jean Grey, all the X-Men are gonna come back. All the Fantastic Four people are gonna come back. It's gonna be 20th Century's goodbye universe. Say goodbye. All of them are gonna come back in different variants. There's supposedly the rumor that Henry Cavill is gonna be one of Wolverine's variant. This is going to be Ryan Reynolds Endgame and inviting everybody from 20th Century Fox.
But can I interject on that? Like I kind of feel like what made the whole Avengers, bubble sort of pop was the oversaturation. Wouldn't Marvel learn their lesson? Like, why don't you just take one story and develop it and make people invested? I feel like when you expand it so much, there's less investment.
I think what they're trying to do is they're just trying to go ahead and close all the
Correct.
loops that they have
Correct.
and bring everything in, everything from
Correct.
the Fox and bring in and consolidate to basically one timeline.
Correct.
And that's where they're going at.
Because remember, the TVA is involved, Angelo. Remember that
Mhm.
the TVA is involved in this from Loki. Because the story is that Ryan Reynolds or Wade Wilson basically retired. He basically said, "All right, I'm done. I had a good run." And something happens where he has to go to this alternate timeline, and then within that timeline with Wolverine, because it's a buddy movie.
Mhm.
The argument is they're going to go through all the different versions of the 20th century universe to TK's point, and basically put a closure on that chapter because it's confirmed already that Deadpool is joining the MCU. What we need to see as fans is how they're going to do that. To your point, and kind of do a nice little ribbon to be like, okay, so who are the X-Men in the MCU? Because if that's a different version, you don't want to confuse the fans. To your point,
Yeah, and this is an animated series. I mean, are they going to bring in James? You said James Marsden. Like, are they going to bring in those people in like Kitty? Like I don't know. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, last comment from the professor. Go ahead.
Okay, so bear with me. How are they going to bring him in? They already did. So with the Marvels, the movie that nobody saw.
Correct.
Oh right, I do remember.
In the very end of the Marvels, you see Photon go to the universe with the Beast, and the Beast from that universe has the voice of Kelsey Grammer, but has the look of the animated series. Chances are she's probably there. So when you're looking at it, the way you do it, you say the animated series is just a universe over there. When you're looking at all the multiverse rules that they've laid out in all these movies, they're literally giving you a map as to how they'll tell the story. It's just that what happens is people have been so mad because the movies are bad that they're literally they're not following what they're telling you in all the movies. So there's that piece. The other thing is there's this whole idea that the Deadpool movie is going to be this giant, huge thing. I actually don't believe that at all, because every single time we've been told that, it hasn't been true. We were told that Multiverse of Madness is going to be a movie where Doctor Strange bounces between all these universes. It was only one scene. It literally only happened for like 0.5 seconds, where you saw him in like 20 different places, and he ends up in one big place in the end.
That movie was horrible.
It was terrible. But I think that what ends up happening is if you're going to see the X-Men in the Deadpool movie, I think it's going to be a post-credit scene. It's gonna be something just that simple, where you're gonna watch the whole movie. Then in the end, the X-Men are gonna be like, "Hey, where's Wolverine? Let's go find him. Oh, I think he's in that universe. We must go save Wolverine." There you go.
Well, again, I don't want to get it. I don't want to get it too. Which that might happen. I don't want to get it too
Yeah.
connected to the Deadpool thing. But going back, I guess the last remarks, TK, in reference of this amazing show that we're all excited to keep seeing. Every Wednesday, the new episodes are going to come up. It's just the excitement is so. Like I agree, we have to just drop the flags. The battles are over. Let's unite for this show.
And how do you feel about that rollout? How do you feel about the weekly as opposed to putting it all out?
I prefer Netflix. I prefer give it to me, and then but I get what they're doing, right? They need people.
Oh, they gotta get people to tune in and watch the show.
Disney
and the only way to do it is to let you do it one show at a time.
And remember, guys, Disney
it's
Plus
the best way to
lost.
keep it. It's the best way to keep that merchandise going and keep everything fresh in the mind of people. So that will be it for us. Just wanted to come in and comment. We do have Cyclops and Magneto having different voices, as well as Jean Grey. And then there's a couple of them that kind of switch around. Chris Potter, who used to be the voice of Cable, he's the voice of Cable now. He used to be like the original Gavin. So I just want to bring that up because Angelo kind of brought that up earlier today. But thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and please like, subscribe, follow us, and of course tune in on Wednesday to watch the next episode of X-Men 97. Till then, this is Nerd Breaking News.
Yeah.